Joining us on the program tonight, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, spokesperson of the BJP, Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Ashok Malik, commentator and writer here in the studio with us. We'll also be joined by Manish Chibber, the National Bureau Chief of the Indian Express, very shortly. But let me ask Ashok first. I will ask the Indian Express's National Bureau Chief about the circumstances surrounding this story, how it happened and so on. But prima facie, based on these recordings, do you believe that it actually has called into question the integrity of this probe?
See, there are two things here. One, the papers did go missing. There is an allegation that the affidavit was changed under political influence. So those matters remain. Having said that, Mr. Prasad's conduct, if these recordings are true, and I have no doubt that they are true, is certainly very questionable. If he is conducting an inquiry, I don't think he has any business talking to a potential business on the phone the day before the inquiry.
Or even suggesting what possible answers
there could be. Or just speaking to him at all. If he wanted to explain the ambit of the inquiry, he could have sent a note, an official note saying this is what the inquiry is about. These are the terms of reference. That's fine. This sort of a conversation is not on.
Okay, so Mr.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that the papers did go missing.
From the issues that are there. Mr. Rao, can I take that to you, that do you believe that, you know, this is not the kind of conduct somebody who is conducting a probe, should have done? As Ashok Malik says, even if he had to discuss how the inquiry was going to be conducted and what the format would be, the appropriate way may have been to do it through a note rather than calling up the witnesses.
Nidhi, I would not comment on the conduct of either the officers or the conduct of the journalists for going ahead and publicizing these conversations. I think let the two groups decide for themselves what is on and what is not on. But the real substance of the issue is, the fact is that Ishrat Jahan, there was a second affidavit filed, and the second affidavit was dictated by the then Home Minister, Mr. Chidambaram. This cannot be denied. This is on record, and the final affidavit that was filed in the court is available, and the papers that went missing in between are the Home Minister's or the Union Home Secretary Mr. Pillai's letters to the Attorney General, and Attorney General's vetting of the draft and making suggestions on this, and then subsequently Mr. Chidambaram overlooked all that and then dictated his own affidavit. I think the manner in which the Union Home Minister got involved in dictating an affidavit to suit the advice of his political masters, that is under scrutiny.
I think by no stretch of imagination, that's a perfectly valid point, Mr. Rao. But if the probe into these missing papers and its integrity is questioned, isn't that something that you need to address as well, whether the integrity of this probe now into these missing papers is questioned if the officer leading that investigation is trying to allegedly influence those people he is supposed to be questioning?
No, I think I find rather the entire thing honestly farcical. I think I would like, you have reputed journalists from the paper available. How does it, please tell me, I want to understand what is in this conversation, which I would not question the authenticity of the conversation. What is in it which has changed the position on this? Is anyone saying, you make an allegation that Mr. Chidambaram took this report and went away? Yeah, you just lied to the, I will ask you a question. You lied to me that Chidambaram had taken this paper and put it in his pocket. We want to implicate Mr. Chidambaram. Is there anything to suggest? And the officers, the conversation is happening between the additional secretary and joint secretary, and anybody who knows government knows joint secretary is a very senior level officer, typically an IAS officer in Government of India, and is not a class 4 employee who can be coached and will follow.
Okay, Mr. Rao, I will take what you said to Manish Chibber of the Indian Express here. The question Mr. Rao is asking is that what is there in these conversations that then actually, is such a big deal? It doesn't say lie, implicate Mr. Chidambaram in any way. Is it about that, or the process of an investigation, the integrity of the way an investigation or a probe is conducted?
I'm surprised that Mr. Rao is asking this question, because what he should be actually asking is, where is the ethics of the probe? Here's a senior additional secretary rank officer who's telling his junior, erstwhile junior, who's now a joint secretary in another ministry, मैं आपसे ये पूछूंगा, आपको ये कहना है. let us assume for a moment that tomorrow, nothing comes out of the probe. There will be questions remaining over the manner in which the probe was conducted, and that is why it is a bona fide story for which I think my young colleague Shagnik needs to be applauded. As far as the import of what he said, so I'll just read out, if you give me a minute, I'll just read out what he says. Among other things, among the tutoring that he does, he says, otherwise सब लोग बोल देंगे कि भाई फाइल में तो था तो आपके ऊपर भी आएगा ना भाई, तो इन्होंने गायब तो नहीं कर दिया. Isn't that a threat? Howsoever hard I try, I cannot rule out the possibility of him telling this guy, either you say this, that I have not seen the papers,
or you'll get in trouble.
Or you get in trouble. What else? He doesn't need to put a gun to his head to get him to say these things.
Okay, Mr. Rao, I'll let you, you wanted to comment on that before I go to Ajoy Kumar of the Congress. I come to that same point, Mr. Rao, that shouldn't the sanctity of this probe also be above board? It's very important that this is a fair, transparent probe that is conducted. The process is also important.
No, I think the real question is that papers went missing and that papers are untraceable even today, except one letter of the former Home Secretary which could be retrieved from the hard disk. The other 4 papers are still missing. I can only imagine what could be if such a conversation had happened, what could be the motive. I think this is a normal tendency in any organization. It would happen in Indian Express also. If some papers went missing, 2 journalists will say, let us not take the onus on us. Otherwise, we will be sacked from our jobs. I think this could be. They are not trying to change the real significance of the papers having gone missing. They are only trying to possibly save their backs. This is only an imaginary answer I can give you. This does not change the fact that papers went missing. Nobody is today saying that these papers, did not
Manish, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance.
The real truth is that.
Okay, you're saying the issue here is about the changed affidavit. The issue here is about the missing papers, and this is, I think, as you are seeing it, a diversion. Farcical is the word that you used earlier. Ajoy Kumar, how does the Congress respond to that? Sure, there are questions about this probe now, and those are being raised. But does it take away from the substantive issues that the BJP is raising on this?
First of all, Nidhi, you need to understand how this government is working. The fake in India, the fake in India machinery of Mr. Modi. First question is, look at it that all the and you need to connect the dots, whether it's the Ishrat Jahan case or the Malegaon case. First they leak a story in the press, then their assets in the social media or the electronic media press start a story to divert attention, and then look, the file is missing. One thing I want to tell you, I've worked in the government. Any file, whether it is a secret file or a top secret file, has a trail. And I don't know which word, they think the whole country is stupid. Nothing in the government of India or a state government, the file can go missing because there's a trail that who took that file. How do they know it is missing during Chidambaram's time? Then they will know who took it. But the file missing is in their interest. Because the Ishrat Jahan case, when the truth comes out, goes right up to Mr. Amit Shah and Mr. Modi's leadership. So, as Ashok said, the file went missing, and who benefits that the truth doesn't come out is the BJP. And the question is, Mr. Chidambaram has said that the affidavit he had changed because the changes made in the affidavit was based on the circumstances after the fake encounter was, a case started in the High Court of Gujarat. But what I'm trying to tell you, this is the modus operandi of BJP. The file went missing is impossible. The file should never see the light of the day. It is the dirty tricks department.
Okay, 1 second.
Because government of India, the file is
I need to respond to this.
Mr. Rao, 1 second. Ashok Malik has a point on this.
This is 1 minute. I think we're confusing too many issues. Just as in the original Ishrat Jahan case, whether she died in a fake encounter or whether she did not die in a fake encounter has nothing to do with whether she was a terrorist or not. And whether she was a terrorist has nothing to do with whether she died in a fake encounter or not. The two are two separate.
Well, that is what some people have not realized.
Even if she's a terrorist, she does not deserve to die in a fake encounter. And if she is an innocent person, obviously she doesn't deserve to die in a genuine
the fake
encounter.
Right?
So the two are two separate. The two are two separate. Both truths have to be uncovered. Even here, Mr. Prasad's conduct, which is very questionable, is very different from the fact that there is evidence of the affidavit having been changed by Mr. Chidambaram, perhaps
Who
under
owns up to
political
it?
influence. His own Home Secretary at that point has
Talked
made
about
certain
political
charges,
influence,
who's
yeah.
a very respected figure, far more respected than Mr. Prasad as a civil servant. 5 pages, not the entire file, 5 pages have been missing. When were they missing? At what point were they missing? Who took them away and why? These are genuine issues which have to be investigated.
But
That
then-
does not take away from Mr. Prasad's conduct, but both
Did
are
he-
important. One doesn't take away
Okay,
from the
Mr.
other.
GVR Rao first and then I'll come to Manish. Yes, Mr. Rao.
Yeah, you see, Dr. Ajay Kumar has very cleverly, he thinks he has shifted the goalpost. The person who is under a cloud in these missing files is Mr. Chidambaram, because it is he who changed the affidavits, ignoring the advice of the Attorney General and
Nidhi.
possibly under the instructions of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. And that's the reason why
Nidhi.
Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi had distanced
Nidhi.
themselves from this controversy when
Nidhi.
this came out in the media. They held a press conference
Nidhi.
to delink Sonia ji and
Nidhi.
Rahul
Okay,
from this.
Ajay, give him
I
a-
think
let
it's
him finish, let him
Chidambaram
finish.
and the Congress party which is under a cloud, number one. And number two, and number two is, I think still the papers went missing in 2009. That is established based on what Mr. Ajay Kumar says.
How do you know?
The file movements must have been noticed, and based on that, it was observed that 2009 September these files went missing, and this came out in the UPA era in 2013. An officer who was handling this file, 2013,
But that
the
is,
Joint Secretary
but that
had
is
noted
why
on
this
the
probe,
file
Mr.
that
Rao,
these
is so
papers
important.
went missing.
Because we need to know,
Nidhi.
do we know, once
Nidhi.
again, Ajay, one second.
Nidhi.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Nidhi, the first question is, look at the BJP, the government's lies one after the other. I repeat, I'm again saying that the file in the government of India or a state government, especially a top secret or a secret file, any file, there is a trail. There is nothing in the world, and there are different copies created. If the file went to the Attorney General, how can it go missing? Because Modi and Mr. Modi and Amit Shah wants the file not to see the light of the day.
They
And it
went
is a modus
missing when
operandi,
you
whether
were
it's
in
the money
power.
round, dirty tricks, spread rumors, divert attention.
2013,
divert
you
attention
admitted
from
in
How
the
do we
same
know
matter.
definitively
My friend,
when the
first
file's
question
been
is,
missing
why
is
are
my
you
question as
diverting
well.
attention?
How do we know, I'm asking Manish that question.
Exactly.
How do we know when the
If you
file's
tell
been
the
missing
date
and why
between-
is it so important? Why is this such an important probe?
No,
Just
Ajay
explain
Kumar,
it to
you
us.
are ignorant.
One moment, Mr. Rao.
Your own
Manish
government
Chibbar. I'm
admitted
getting
in
Manish
2013.
to answer this.
Yeah.
On the why this probe is so crucial to put all the pieces together.
Yeah, this probe is very crucial. First, I like to respond
Yeah.
to Mr. Rao when he talked about the how Indian Express operates. So I'd like to tell him, assure him that the moral standards at Indian Express are much higher than those in political parties. So having said that, what I'd also like to say is that these papers, I don't know whether they were ever part of the file. Nobody knows. There is an insinuation that there were some papers which went missing. Chidambaram, I'm not here to defend him. He can do that himself. He has never denied having changed that affidavit. So now what needs to be checked is where are those papers, because I have covered the government for so long. I know there is a paper trail. So there are 3 people involved in this matter: Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Pillai, and Mr. RVS Mani, the Undersecretary who filed that affidavit. Has this inquiry committee, did it approach Mr. Chidambaram that we need to question you? Have they questioned Mr. Pillai? These are certain questions to which we need the answers. I'm sure they have.
If I could just intervene here.
Yeah.
Look, papers are missing. I think we do know papers are
Yeah,
missing.
yeah,
because as
I-
far
I'm
as I
not
know,
doubting that.
Mr. Pillai, as far as I know, Mr. Pillai has also said that his covering note, for instance, is missing. So we do know that papers are missing.
Yeah, but
do we
having
know
said
when they
that,
went missing?
No,
That is-
but
that's what we
acceptable.
need to know.
I'll tell you
It's not
what.
that
I'll
papers
tell
are
you
not
what.
missing. Papers
I'll
are
tell you
missing.
what. Yesterday, as part of this story that we were doing, we have been working on this story. My colleague Shagnik has been working on this story for the last 50 days. Yesterday I accompanied him to the offices of Mr. Prasad. We had a 2-hour meeting with him. I accompanied him to the office of Mr. Ashok Kumar, who refused to meet us. In Mr. Prasad's office, we were told that it is Mr. Prasad telling us, because he, and I am not breaking any secret here, he said, I am not very sure if they were ever part of the file. Yes, there were documents, but somebody in the UP, obviously, they were never made part of the file. What this inquiry should have done is found why weren't they made ever included in the file. Unfortunately, the Congress, when it was in power, the UPA, They were playing politics over this issue.
And it continues.
Now
but
the
the question I
BJP
have is, before I take it back to the politicians, Ashok, is that who benefits from these papers missing? Actually.
Well, it depends on what the papers say.
Exactly.
If
it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be one or the
other. If we are to
other.
go by what Mr. Pillai apparently said to the media, that his covering note saying that the affidavit has been changed by the minister, if we go by that, if that is correct, then obviously I would presume Mr. Chidambaram benefits. As in
Well,
his,
he's owned up to it. So he
we
said,
He's owned up to it.
Nidhi,
So Chidambaram on the file.
no. Mr. Chidambaram has also
Nidhi.
said.
One moment.
Mr.
Nidhi.
Chidambaram has also
Ajoy,
said
one second.
Mr.
Nidhi.
Pillai was part of the
Nidhi.
decision. That cover note, if it exists, would prove Mr. Pillai was not part of the decision.
But
So,
you
to
know,
that note,
at the
it is
end of the
important.
day, Ajay Kumar and
Nidhi.
Mr. Rao, Ajay Kumar, to you
Nidhi.
first, we're never going to get to the bottom of this story. And we're just running around in circles over this so many years later, whether it's on the fake encounter issue, how this affidavit was changed, what the politics was behind this. Are we ever going to get to the bottom of this story? That's the question I asked at the beginning of the show. Ajay Kumar.
No, but one thing, Nidhi, Ashok's argument is specious. He seems to be believing as if Mr. Pillai is the gospel truth.
I
Mr.
am not
Chidambaram
believing
said the
at
file
all.
went through
I am
Mr.
saying
Pillai.
if he is
So
right.
the question again
I
is
am not
who
believing anybody.
So
I am saying
that's
if
what I'm
Mr.
saying.
Pillai is
One sec,
right.
Ashok. I'll just complete, Ashok.
Sure.
I'm just saying that. So I'm saying either way. But the important part is the BJP's dirty trick department, the modus operandi is whether it's the Malegaon, you leak information, create a misconception, divert attention, diverting attention because Amit Shah and the BJP top leadership in the fake encounter case, Malegaon in the places, their top leadership in the RSS, divert attention, and that is why, because the file has got a trail. Find the truth. We are telling find the truth, and they are responsible for hiding the file.